all right, we decided to just run it back. But this time, this is so much fucking writing. We're just going to talk through it because this is something that I've seen tested a lot on my practice tests. Oh, by the way, took one yesterday, and we went up how many points? We went up what, 5 points? We're not to the score we want yet, but we're making some good progress. It's really just cars that's holding us back. Story of my fucking life. Anyways, but I'm going to talk through the psychoanalytical and psychosexual personality development hot takes. Main contender is going to be Freud, and then Erikson, Eric squared. And Erikson expounded upon Freud, but the first 5 line up with Freud's, but then he added 3 more. But pretty much Freud, his will go oral, anal, phallic, latent, genital, and these are all kind of like sexy terms, right? But they describe what's going on through the development. Oral, right? Because your mouth, your babies, they put their mouth on everything, right? That's how they explore their world. Then, and that's gonna be 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 12, 12 plus. But over here you see 0, pretty much 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 6 to 12, 12 to 18, right? So Erikson cuts it off at 18, whereas Freud's is like, fuck it, I can't be bothered anymore. But then from here, Erikson goes 18 to 40, 40 to 65, and then 65 plus. So he goes into like later life, and gets more specific with it. But babies puts everything in their mouth. That's how they explore the world. Then you go to anal. So that's going to be your bladder, your butt, right? And they're learning how to pee and poop. They're like learning how to control that, like, do it for themselves. Then we go to phallic. That is going to be in reference to their genitals, and they're going to build up a localized sensitivity there, I think is what the book said. Pretty much they're aware that they're a boy and a girl and that they have different parts, right? You're also going to have the Oedipus and Electra complexes. That's where boys, they really like their mom, they don't like their dad. Girls, they really like their dad, they don't like their mom. And that'll eventually go away. That's like, yeah. Or maybe it won't. Depends on your parents, I guess. Then we go latent, and this is going to be, you're going to not have that localized pleasure anymore that was in the phallic stage. That's why it's latent, because it's no longer there. But pretty much you're just going to look for friends. You're going to socialize, you're going to look for friends, you're going to develop that kind of ability. Some more than others. I feel like I struggle with that. And then genital is going to be 12 plus. That pleasure is going to return. You're going to look for those romantic relationships that'll take you through the rest of your life. Then Eric Erikson, trust, mistrust, pretty much the same thing as, or it's the only one that's really kind of different. But you're pretty much learning to trust others. You're like, oh no, I'm like this tiny little thing. Is it okay for me to like trust you? But yeah, you're learning how to trust others. Then autonomy versus shame. Autonomy, you do stuff for yourself, like the anal stage of Freud. You're learning how to pee and poop by yourself, pretty much. And then initiative versus guilt. You're learning how to make decisions for yourself. That's kind of different, but it lines up age-wise. Then industry versus inferiority. That's kind of like you're starting to go to school. You're starting to understand, like, oh, I gotta listen to my teachers, or there's consequences, right? We're gonna start learning about authority, complying to authority, stuff like that. Then identity versus role confusion, 12 to 18. That's going to be like, oh, like this is like the basis of who I am. We're going to start making sense of life. We're going to start making goals, dreams, and start pursuing those. Then this is where they diverge from each other. Erikson is going to go into intimacy versus isolation. So 18 to 40, this is where we're going to start really looking for those intimate relationships. You're going to start pursuing husband, wife. You're going to want a partner, whatever it may be that you desire, but you are going to go and look for that in this stage. And then we're going to have generativity versus stagnation, 40 to 65. So this is really middle age. And then this is where you're going to make a living. You're going to set yourself up so that you can live the rest of your life. But this is going to be mostly about making a living, making some money. Then we're going to have integrity versus despair, the last stage, 65 plus. And hopefully by now you've made your money, you've retired. You got some savings in there, and then you're just going to come to terms with life. You're going to be able to look back on your life and be like, okay, well, I have regrets, I don't have regrets. And most people don't actually make it to this stage, I believe. I think that is part of the test. Testable content is that most people, they go through all of these, right? Everybody goes through these. And then this one, and this one are like, you're lucky if you get to the very, very last couple ones. But yeah, here's the board again. I know that was fast, but no fucking way I was writing all that out.